Hi everyone. I am live here at my garden. It is 7 o'clock and I said I'd do like a little Q&A for the farm and the garden. So I'll take you on a little tour, and as you ask questions in the comments, I'll just answer them and do that. I don't know if I can turn this. No, sorry, I can't do that. I was just gonna say if I could turn it sideways, then I can upload it to YouTube after, but I can do that anyway. It just won't be side view. Oh, I hope everybody's doing well. Look at that sky. Everything is just so beautiful right now. Oh, look. Ah, it's just gorgeous here. Minis are out grazing. Willow is trying desperately to get the cat. Willow, what are you doing? Are you trying to get the cat who's aggravating you on the other side of the fence? Yeah? So I just want to show you something that I had not grown before. Lavender. I've never been able to grow it well. And I was so pleased that I was able to find a spot thanks to a permaculture workshop that I held here on the farm. We kind of talked about, like, you know, it's just sort of my different areas here. And it helped me immensely with trying to figure out where everything could go, where I could tuck everything. Hi Cheryl. Hi Linda. I could find everything, like where I could tuck everything. I better get in here. The chickens are going to be in the garden. Anyway, it was just oat. Sorry guys. There's always one that pushes the limits. They are not allowed in there. I hope you guys aren't getting... Oh, no, over here, babe. Over here. Over here. Over here. Oh, there you go. Anyway, there's always... hi, Loretta. There's always something that pushes the limits in the garden and you know, or around your property, and there's always something though that you can grow there. So I was having really a hard time with that area. It borders, I don't know if you can see it right here, it borders my garden. It's very sandy, very gritty, not just great growing conditions, and I've added and I just can't get it to sort of do anything. So we talked about it, and we discovered that lavender would be a great, hi Paula, would be a great addition there, because the chickens won't touch it, so they won't eat it, so they leave it alone, so it can be outside the garden fence, and they also it thrives in that kind of soil. So that was just like such a fabulous thing to find out, was, you know, sort of what grows well there. And then over by the pond, over there, we popped in my elderberry. And I had purchased some elderberry bushes from Lavender Hill Nursery in Jordan and Shelburne, and that is just doing amazing over there. So it's just soaking up that water, and so I thanks to Matthew for doing that permaculture workshop with me. It's really helped just with some areas that I was really struggling with to figure out where things went. So here we are in the garden. Hi, Kathy. Basically, I have my cold frame here, and that's just filled with lettuce at the moment. So I've got black seed at Simpson that does so well here. We've just got just all that. We've got some carrots tucked in over there because my grandson loves carrots and it does well in there. I vent that all day. Oops, sorry guys, you're gonna get a view of the sun there. I vent that all day, but I can't leave it open because it is outside my garden, and well, the chickens, the dogs, the cats, everybody just will go at it. So we're gonna go into the garden here. So I'm just so pleased with how this looks. Look how pretty. It's really coming together. And I don't know if you guys remember that in June, I was really sort of lamenting that garden, like, oh my gosh, nothing's coming along. I have a booby trap here for the chickens and the dogs. So anyway, I'm gonna close that up. And I had to really remember that things are going to take off, and like we're the last week of July right now, so the runner beans are coming. Sunset runner beans are coming. They're growing up over the cattle panels, just like I had asked them to do. You know, I've got purple peas over here. I've got other peas that are, oops, sorry, I don't know if you can see those. So those are purple king tut peas from Revival Seeds, and they are just beautiful. The peas they turn green when you cook them, so they don't stay purple, but I will show you the peas. Like, they are so full, and it is just like, it is just, look at that. Look, just amazingly full and beautiful, and they are delicious. All right, the pods are a little tougher than the homesteader peas, but they're really, really good. So, we have that. Down here we have borage. I have tons and tons of borage. And I'll tell you right now, hi Amanda. I'll tell you right now that when I said God willing, I would be here at 7 for a little bit garden Q&A and tour and everything. Yeah, I'm not giving you the finger. This literally is what I did right after I posted that I was going to do a garden Q&A, and that I was going to like be, you know, live. I took my tip of my finger off not the tip of the finger, but tip of the skin off with the food processor. So obviously I'm just sort of one-handed here. I'm going to put that down. So over here, this whole area, I finally got the ground cherries under control. So if you guys grow ground cherries, does anybody on here grow ground cherries? Oh, sorry. Does anybody on here grow ground cherries? Look at them. They just grow fantastic here. And I stumbled upon them quite by accident. I put them in my garden years ago. The chickens, you know, sort of eat them up and poop them out, and they're everywhere. And I've complained about them and complained about them. Finally, I just decided that because they were volunteers all the time, I was just going to pop them into this raised bed and just keep them contained and try to keep the harvest under control. Anyway, that's worked fabulous. So anyway, if you don't grow ground cherries, they are a cross between a tomato and a cherry. So they're very sweet, the taste is definitely different. It's a little tartar than a tomato. So, but not, you know, not as acidic, I guess. Anyway, it was really good. So anyway, we're really happy about that. Like I mentioned, the borage. So I'm battling cabbage moss again. Anybody else? I know I've had a couple messages from people. Hi, Dawn. I know I've had a couple messages from people about cabbage moss. Literally, guys, I'm winging it, but it's working. My cabbages are huge. Oh, sorry. My cabbages are huge. They're doing so well. And, you know, I was really pleased that they were pest-free when I actually cut them open and, you know, have cut a few open to preserve. I actually chopped up some for coleslaw. I've shredded some, put it in the freezer. I fermented some. So that's been really fun. And I'm glad I'm able to save it. So what I did was I had a couple questions about this on Instagram, I think, was I put salt water all around and over top of the cabbages. And that sort of flushes out the worms. So, hi, Aunt Joycey. I got your package today. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you my hat that my Aunt Joycey sent me from Ecuador. So pleased with it. Anyway, I'm gonna pop that on tomorrow. You're gonna see a beautiful morning picture with me in my plantation hat. So anyway, it was very sweet of her to send that. Thank you. I love you. So the cabbages, so we did salt water all around them, on top of them. It flushed the moss out, the caterpillars out. And then what I did was put DE liberally, like literally, like I was heavy with it. I just went for it. And then I took eggshells and went the whole way around all the cabbages. It worked. They're thriving. It's good. Weeding, lots of weeding going on. I know everybody else is, hi Cavell. I know everybody else is weeding. I know everybody else is like up to their ears, and the harvest is starting to come in, and weeding is just like, oh my gosh. But this bed needs to be weeded tomorrow. I'm going to do that and do that tomorrow. I've got a cat in the bed see, Monty, farm cat, one of 3. So this whole bed of carrots is coming along great. This is a radish that I'm letting go to seed. I'm told that the seed pods of a radish are very, very good. Hi, Norma. Hi, Roy. I have, so the radishes, I'm letting this one go to seed because I want to try them. I've heard they're very delicious. I'm very anti-radish. If you follow me at all, you know I'm not a radish lover. Please don't send me messages of like how many ways I could enjoy them, because like I've literally tried everything. I just can't. There's just something about that. I definitely will put on my hat next time. Yes, I was already in this one today, but you are going to see a morning video and a morning hello with my new hat on, Joycey from Ecuador. Thank you very much. So celery, doing very, very, very well. Celery does amazing here. Now we just, you can see just like how beautiful that is coming along. And I just always do really well with celery here. We have dill, tons of dill. Somebody commented on how do I get my dill so bushy? I don't know. I just plant it really, really thick, and then I start picking it right away. So I don't let it go really to flower. This one is starting to go to flower, but I pick it, like just pick and pick and pick and pick and pick, and it just gets bushier and bushier. That's the thing with some things, is that with some things in the garden, definitely, the more you pick them. Yeah, your carrots did nothing. Oh, I know, Amanda. It's been such a funny gardening year, isn't it? Some of the garden did so well, and then look, my carrots are great now, but they took forever. And I have planted probably 3 other beds in there of carrots, because I was just so worried I wasn't going to get any carrots, and I was going to have to resort to everybody who lives in Cape or sort of this area will know. I was going to have to resort to deer hunting carrots on the side of the road to purchase those. So anyway, not that there's anything wrong with those. However, they sell big bags of them to feed carrots and to sort of for hunters. And anyway, they're about $10-20 a bag, or $10 a bag, I guess. And I tell you, it's tempting every time I see them. I think, how many people could we feed with those? And here we are feeding the deer with them. But I get it. They're probably carrots that not a lot of people are that the farmers are trying to get rid of, and it's lucrative for them to do that. So anyway, Willow spotted somebody. Hi, Tara. So I don't know what to tell you about the carrots. Just keep going. I mean, you can plant carrots well. Everybody can start doing a fall garden right now too. Like, I know, not right now, but like probably in about another week or so, 2 weeks, I would start with your fall garden and start getting, because once it gets a head start on growing, it'll start to slow down in September from growing. And then once it stops, you want to plant it soon enough, not in the heat. You kind of need to time it just right. But if you do that, you can time it so that your garden starts. Thanks. I know. Well, they were a long time coming, Amanda, those carrots. They really were. And, and I will say that they did turn out nice. But you can start, you can start planting that winter garden, and carrots are a big part of that. So if you start to plant your carrots, you can get away with another round of beets, you can get away with turnip and parsnip, and a lot of like your onions, things like that. You can cabbage. I just planted more cabbage as well. So hi, Ruby. Hi, Candy. Hi, Molly. So yeah, you can plant, like you can still start that fall. I planted new beets, so these beets here, I found they just didn't do like fantastically well, but look, like beautiful greens, but look at the size of the beet root, actually, so not great. Now I've replanted over on the other side, and they are fantastic. They're coming up better than my first batch. So that happens. Like, you just have to keep going and, like, just keep planting. And I know it may seem it gets discouraging, but your winter garden can go in now, definitely. And you can do another round of green beans right now, things like that. Carrots don't do really well when they have to germinate in the heat. So I wait a little bit for those. So just a second. Willow, here, girl. Here, girl. Yeah. But peas, I keep showing off my peas, and I can't help it, guys. Look at those. They're just packed. Those are the Homesteader peas from Revival Seeds, and that is like a huge row, and I've just been putting up peas and peas and peas. I've got to shell more tonight. I'm not complaining. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying, 'cause some years are like that, and some years are not. Some years are just not like that. So anyway, it's been good. So like I say, beets was not the year. I'm gonna be, I've planted 2 more beds over here, and it's been good. So these are my baking beans, and they're starting to come on, and really happy about those. They're all flowering. Everything's progressing nicely with those, and those will be for dried beans. Some of your beets grew, but most of them didn't. Yeah. I had to re-sow like 3 times, Amanda. Like, it was just crazy. It's been a funny year, like, with the garden, and I know a lot of people have said it. It's just been slow, and then it's just come on all of a sudden. So anyway, but yeah, it's I'm really excited for the onslaught of zucchini. Look, guys. So this is the zucchini summer squash, and look in there. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, at least 7 squash coming on there. Those were from Yonder Hill, and you can get those. Hi, Velvet. You can get those at DTC Natural Store. So, hi, Crystal. And then we have some green zucchini there, of course. Like, I'm going to make lots of zucchini salsa. So the zucchini plants are doing really well. Like, they were off to a slow start too, and I was worried about them. And they have just taken off, like, in the last little bit. So cucumbers are slow. Like, I don't know, is anybody else having trouble with that? I find cucumbers are slow this year. I've put DE on them because I just think something's kind of getting them. Sunflowers are doing really well. Look at this. So these have been just like, these are huge. These are almost probably 4 feet tall right now, and they're going to get taller. They're some of the ones in the back are Russian giants, and they're going to, cover up my little hoop house there. So I didn't end up getting anything done with this area here. I was going to keep, after I clean out the sheep house next month, I'll put all of the sheep bedding in here, and then that will be good. Making a zucchini chocolate cake next week. Oh, Aunt Joycey, I love zucchini chocolate cake. That moistness, that zucchini just is like phenomenal. I just adore that. And that's one of my favorites. But also my chocolate chip zucchini bread is really good, and that's on my website. And that's one of our favorites. And of course we have what I called a tea rose, but it was my grandmother's rose, and that's doing very well here. That's just all come out this week and just all blossomed. And I heard that these are called Dorothy Perkins rose. So I don't know if that's the name of them. If anybody knows, pop me sort of a message in here. I don't know if that's the name of them. I've just always called it a tea rose, and it was, like I mentioned, from my grandmother. When we sold her house and packed it all up, we took the rose bush and replanted it everywhere. We took slips of it and replanted it everywhere. So anyway, it grows really, really well here. But I've heard it's called the Dorothy Perkins rose. Rhubarb. I'm going to get a late season of rhubarb. I moved it, and so that's my own fault. But it just wasn't doing well where it was. So, so horses are eating. Minis are grazing. Minis can't graze a lot. They will founder. So we just graze them here and there in the evenings, sometimes for like an hour, in the mornings for an hour or so. They're really prone to overgrazing and getting too fat. So we're very careful with the horses and their diet. We dry lot, of course, because on the island there is not any pasture. It's very rare to have any pasture on the island. Our soil is very rocky. I was meeting with the Department of Agriculture the other day, and we were talking about that, like how there is so many different options for growing now that really poor soil isn't really an excuse anymore. But with pastures, obviously it's a little harder. So anyway, but you can grow in all kinds of, like, covered structures are like your friend here. So these have done very well. This is a red romaine lettuce. And it is just gorgeous, guys. Like, it is just beautiful. I've really, and the taste, it is phenomenal. And I have, of course, a row of basil over here, slow coming, nasturtium, calendula. This is all calendula plants, and that is all coming up. Now, calendula I'll use to make tinctures. We'll put it in soap. We use it when you do a tincture, like you really just dry like I make borage tinctures, like I'll put it on my finger later. When you do like a calendula tincture or a borage tincture, all you're doing is taking the flowers, and drying them for a little bit, and then you're just probably for about a month. No, sorry, you're going to dry the flowers overnight. Then you're going to fill a jar 3/4 full, a liter jar, 3/4 full of the flowers. And then you are going, hi Tammy. And then you're going to fill that jar with vodka. And you are going to let that steep for about a month. Then you're going to strain those flowers out. And what you have left is a tincture that will last like basically forever, because alcohol is shelf stable. So that is like sort of what I do with my calendula. I do that, we use it on cuts, bug bites, abrasions. Sometimes you can even use it on like muscle soreness, depends on what it is, things like that. But I also have comfrey growing to make, sort of trying to up my game with my medicinal herbs. Not too fancy. I'm not great like that, but I definitely have my basics covered. Comfrey is great for like muscle aches and pains and strains and broken bones even. So you can do a lot with comfrey. So I've got, thanks to Chrissy, she gave me some transplants. I've got quite a bit of that growing now. So that's fantastic. Okay, these are the saddest looking tomato plants. I want to show you the difference, okay? So these came from my mom, and it's not that my mom is a bad gardener. She's not. She's a fabulous gardener. So it's not that she is a bad gardener. You can see they're coming on with some fruit, but we're not going to get much out of these. These are so tiny. They just didn't thrive. And the difference is that, of course, she's about half an hour away, and she is in a different growing zone altogether. So she's in a different growing zone altogether in Shelburne. Now, I'm in Cape Island, so when we grow tomatoes, I'm going to pop you inside the tomato hoop house. Look. Okay, so these tomato plants are like 5 feet high. At least they're going over actually closer to 6 feet. They're full of fruit. They're just doing so well in here. I see a few little yellow leaves that I'm going to pop in and get rid of later because I don't want them to get blight. Overhead water is not your friend here. And on the island, it's very, very hard. So, all right, we've got nice fruit coming on. These are nice, healthy plants. Everything, like, that's the difference between growing under cover here, growing under cover, and growing tomato plants outdoors. Just cannot happen. Hi, Elaine. It just cannot happen. It doesn't happen well in Cape Island and damp climates, anywhere like that. I mean, tomatoes always do better covered over, and without overhead water as well. So, we just risk so much blight here with the dampness. Like every morning I come out, all my plants are damp, even though we haven't had rain, because of the humidity and because of the the fog. We just get such a, the fog will roll in here. I can sort of see a fog bank hanging back there, and the fog will come in, and we will just be sort of have that dampness all evening, that humidity. And then when I wake up in the morning, like everything will be wet out here. Excuse me, but it won't be, everything will be wet, but it won't be like really like a healthy rain. So that's something you just need to watch, is that we're very susceptible to blight out here. So right here, turnips and parsnips. I don't know which is which right now. I've harvested a few turnips out of here, but like, to be honest, I think the parsnips got put in with the turnips. The bugs have been sort of, I see a spot in there that was bad, so I just de-eat the whole works, and was hoping to avoid losing the foliage. But they've been very good. The turnips look fantastic, and they're growing really nice. Now, turnips always do better. These are fall turnips, so these turnips will always do better with a slight frost on them. So I'll be leaving these in for quite a while, and we'll be waiting until hi Wendy, we'll be waiting until the frost hits them, and they'll be very sweet, and that will be great. So these are the two other beds. This is one bed of beets that I put in a little later, just probably a few weeks ago, and this is another bed of beets that I put in, golden beets that I put in as well. And then we have some more onions. This is my third planting of onions. I'll show you my first ones when we come in. We have beans here, yellow and green. They've been doing well. I know some people were having trouble with beans coming, like taking a long time. I get that, it happens. Squash. Look at my squash have just taken off, eh? Like, that's just fantastic. This whole area will be filled with squash, and, just some of these leaves are just looking fantastic. They'll spread all over. Of course, I don't grow these under cover, so they take a little longer. I don't mind. I mean, we have a nice fall. We're zone 6A, but that's only because we have such mild winters, not necessarily because we are warm. So anyway, we have that. I grew some more peas over here, and I thought that they would trellis up, and then I was growing spinach under here, which I did, and it's growing really well. I harvested quite a bit of it today. I put that under here because spinach does not, I had a question about this the other day. Spinach and other vegetables do not enjoy the heat. So spinach and other lettuces, things like that, mesclun, arugula, they don't enjoy the heat. So they go right to seed, and there's really no saving them once they go to seed. So unless you have shade cloth, okay? So you can put shade cloth over top of them, and that will like shade them, and you won't have them as susceptible to, but once they actually go to seed, you may as well just let them go and then save the seeds. What could be eating my Brussels sprout leaves? Same thing that's probably eating mine. So it's a brassica, so cabbage moss. Cabbage moss are your biggest culprit with any of your brassicas, like broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, any of those. Cabbage moss will just and like disintegrate them. And the other thing is, so use some salt water on them, and then coat them with DE and try that. I don't know, that's been working for me. I tend to go the non-pesticide route. I tend to go more the organic route and just sort of hope for the best. I don't mind, hi Margie, I don't mind sharing my vegetables with some of the sort of things that fly around and eat, and things like that. I do resent them when they try to take all of it. Okay, hi Phyllis. So that is, when it comes down to it, we have to eat, and I have planted this huge garden, and it has been a labor of love, a labor of work. It will feed my family all winter. So guess what? They are going to not make it, and that's okay, because I have done my best. I've shared with the birds. The robins took my peas. I can't tell you how many times. So just, sharing with those animals, with nature, I don't mind. Like, I plant extra because of that. I mentioned, like, I've planted beets 3 times. I've done, all of that. But what like I said, what I do resent is having to give all of it to them. I do not want to. There. Hi guys, sorry I'm back. I lost you there for a minute. We have horrible Wi-Fi here, so I just try to do my best, but I had to find another spot. Hi Wanda. So what I was saying was about the cabbage moss and earwigs, any of the pests like the nematodes that just sort of just come through and disseminate your vegetables, is that you have to figure it out. You have to find a way. Shh, guys, you have to find a way that they that you know, they will make it. Your plants will make it and feed your family before all the animals do. I mean, you know, before nature does. You know, because frankly, it's got to come down to you or them, and you really want to be able to enjoy and put this hard work. I mean, there's nothing more disheartening. So I just stick with it, guys. I just dig in and stick with it and try to, you do everything I can. And there's been some years I've just called, you know, time of death on things. That was the beets over there. I still have half a bed that I just tore it out and said I'm going to replant. But what I'm going to do first before I replant is I'm going to add some things to my soil there, because obviously there's a weakness in my soil. So there's obviously a weakness there because the pests have come in, they've moved in, and they've camped out. So I've obviously got a weakness there, whether it's too close to the mulch in my garden, whether it is too close to the mulch in my, you know, sort of that it's causing ants to come in, because I think the ants got into my beets the first round. You know, something is definitely wrong there. So I'm going to be adding definitely some more lime, definitely some more bone meal to my compost, and digging it into the garden and trying to figure out what my garden needs. Like, you know, what is it trying to tell me? Because obviously something wasn't working. So anyway, scarlet runner beans are doing really well. Mentioned those. Onions. I used a technique this year called spooning, and it has made such a big difference. So I learned it from a lady, Ruth Ann Zimmerman, and what she did was she just took her fingers and went right around. So I tried it on a few of my onions, and I found it made such a difference. So you're just basically leaving the root in the ground, and you're spooning around it, sort of digging around it, and letting it. So that allows the bulb to like really just, you know, grow as big as it can. And I just. Yeah. Hi Gloria, hi Vicky. Sorry, we just came in and out. Anyway, yeah. So what else in the garden? Potatoes. We just hauled 70 pounds of potatoes out. We still have many more to go. We've got 100. We've hauled so far 151, 52 pounds of potatoes out of the garden so far, and so that's been a fabulous potato year, and that we have been living off of. I've replanted 3 more rows actually. I'm going to replant 1 more, and then we have still russets and Yukon Gold to come out. So that's been fabulous as well. I won't go too far over here because I don't seem to be having a great internet connection. My asparagus has gone to seed. I've just let that go. Over there, I've got a whole row of sunflowers. I just harvested all the garlic. And if you let your asparagus go to seed, it's like really good for it. So that's what I did. So I put in 10 more plants this year, 10 more crowns. I got those from the West Perennials with Alice at there, and got 10 more crowns and was able to put those in. So I've got a huge row of sunflowers over there. My garden looks so empty without all the garlic growing though. Like I'm really missing that, but that's just the way it goes. I've got quite a few marigolds. A lot of flowers popped in everywhere this year, and I just love that, eh? So something was getting the kale, which again, brassica family, you know, the kale is, and just noticed that something was kind of, you know, those cabbage moths were attacking that as well. So I de-eat those today. And just did that. So some more peas coming up on this side of the cattle panels, and I'm hoping we will have like just such a lovely harvest of peas that I never plan enough. I never get enough to go through the winter. And anyway, that's my goal this year, was kind of to do that and to try what else? Brussels sprouts. Yeah, I want to try Brussels sprouts. So anyway, but does anybody have any questions about the farm or about the garden or anything? The farm's over here, all back here. Yeah, we're on a full acre, and it's the sheep were sheared last night, so I usually try to get out in the garden for at least 15 to 20 minutes to weed every single day. Because, oh my goodness, guys, if you don't stay on top of it, it's just like gets overwhelming. So, and I've done really, really well. I've been very disciplined at doing that, and you can tell it's paid off. I've just, you know, I've got to do the beans and some turnip bed. But this hoe that I got, from Home Hardware, I'm going to tell you, is like a lifesaver. So it's a 3-in-1 hoe from Mark Cullen. And I really, really am enjoying this hoe. So on this side, I just take this side and I go through my rows, and then I use this to dig out any like stubborn weeds, and I use this for hoeing up like rows. And it's the 3-in-1, and yeah, it's by Mark Cullen. I got it at Home Hardware. It's like $15 or something. It's like such a great piece of equipment. It's really helped with the garden that way. So with, you know, save my back, because I'm able to like stay on top. If you stay on top of the weeding and do 15 to 20 minutes every night, then you don't have to do such a big weed, and which can really be, like I mentioned, overwhelming, hard on the spirit, not good. Yeah, so one thing I did want to show you, and I hope I don't lose internet connection when I walk down this way, but one thing I did want to show you in the garden, or well, sort of today, was that last year I had rows and rows of zinnias. I had no luck with them this year. Something got the seed. I've got probably about 7 growing. But I need to tell you that last year I had just such beautiful zinnias, and I took so many pictures of them. And I had a notebook designed from one of those pictures. So this is going to be a garden notebook for me. It's got a little bee on the first page. It was designed by Happy. You like your garden claw, Tammy? Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, no, it is, seriously. It's like saves. Plus this one has like a nice long handle. It saves your back. So these journals, these little garden journals, these blank notebooks, I'm just going to use them for garden journals, and I am so excited. Look, it's my zinnias. It's exactly the picture of my zinnias. She took that. She drew the bee that was on the zinnias. On the back, she drew the ladybug that was on the mint. I sent her all kinds of pictures of the garden, and this is what she designed from from my garden pictures. So this is from Happy Letters Studio, but you can find them on my Shopify site on Facebook. And I mean, don't feel obligated. I was so excited to share them. They have my little logo on the back, and they're just such nice, heavy, beautiful. Shh, 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 shh. Guys, they're playing. Anyway, they're just such beautiful notebooks. They're just such beautiful notebooks, and I've just been so blessed with being able to share them with everybody. I just, anyway, they're $20. They're on my Shopify site. You can find them on my Facebook, and I think the links right around in there, everywhere. Anyway, I'm really excited about these, and I'm looking forward to, I don't know what picture I'll share this year, first, maybe to do another set. You know, I just am excited about this. I want to have those garden things, those lovely garden journals. So anyway, guys, well, this has been fun. Anyway, yeah, no, it's if you guys have any other questions, just I'll give you a minute here and just sort of tour those beautiful onions again. Some years are great with onions, eh? So I'll haul those and let them dry. So haul those, let them dry, and then I will hang them in the barn. I will braid them and hang them in the barn. I say braid, that's really ambitious of me. Usually I just bunch them together and hang them. Actually, the garlic right now in the garden is like hanging beautifully. It smells so delicious in there. And it's just like all the garlic. And that's been really nice to have. So I had picked 153 bulbs of garlic out of the garden. And like, guys, I'll tell you, it's like a small space. Like it's not a huge garden. Like that whole row there, so all in front of that horse pen, with that whole back end of the garden was garlic. But it literally was probably about a 2-foot row. So I grew 153 bulbs of garlic in a 2-foot row, whole end of my garden. It was dead space, right? So like just tucking in things everywhere. I just love doing that and being able to like challenge myself with like how much stuff I can get out of this garden. And I actually planted more garlic over by the pond because it planted it all over by the pond because I was able to make it as a fly deterrent for the horses. So that was my goal, was to sort of make it as a fly deterrent for the horses. Anyway, well, if everybody's good, I'm just gonna come over and show you by the pond. Horsey, oh, sheep have spotted me. So this is the elderberry. So that's growing like amazing, like it's almost as tall as me. So it's great. And then more garlic, and of course cattails, which we love because they filter your water. And that's been fabulous. So anyway, guys, thanks for joining, and thanks for all your questions. And yeah, and just, you know, I get lots of questions on Instagram and things like that, and through Facebook, and I love them. So just, you know, keep gardening. I don't have all the answers, but I usually can steer you in the right direction of somebody who knows what they're talking about. You know, and you know, just having gardened for, you know, pretty much my whole life, I do have some of that, you know, failure experience, those hard lessons learned, which, you know, is sometimes the best. So anyway, all right, guys, that's been 45 minutes of a lovely little time in the garden with you, and I'm just really pleased that you joined me. And like I mentioned, you can find us on Instagram, and in my stories I usually post all kinds of good stuff from the garden, harvests and everything like that. Anyway, take care, everybody.